Hi everyone, Letty here. For the Bitty Paperie project that's coming up, my friends Toby and Debbie and myself are getting together. We're going to be doing an artist trading cards collab. Today I'm making Halloween ATCs. Welcome back everyone. So I am making some artist trading cards today with my friends Toby and Debbie. We are going to be having the Bitty Paperie project coming up. It's an event and we're going to be trading ATCs at the event. We encourage everyone to bring some who is attending. So what we wanted to do was get together and make some ATCs with everyone, talk about them. One of my hashtag crafty goals is to make ATCs every month. So I have been prepping for this type of event for some time now, actually all year long. Here are the last 10 that I had made. An ATC is 2.5 by 3.5. It's an artist trading card. You put your information on the back, you decorate the fronts of the little cards, and it's like a little front, card front basically. And so it just kind of is a way that you can showcase your style or what you like. I had recently smashed this Sweet and Spooky paper pad by Doodlebug for the Doodlebug collab. And so I have brought another one out as well as some of the leftover stickers that I had, and I'll use them for today's ATCs. And so here is the paper pad that I have, and it's so super cute. And so what we're doing is the three of us are getting together today. We're going to just each release a video regarding what an ATC is and how to make one if you have never made one, just so everybody who is going to be attending our Bitty Paperie project is prepared and they can bring some ATCs to trade. So I have the puffy icon stickers as well as the regular mini icon stickers, and I will be using the paper today. I do have a not too shabby affiliate link. That's where I purchased all of those items. I'll link that down below for you. And so I have my ATCs. I'll do you a quick little preview of them, and then we'll definitely be making some on camera today. So here are some of the ones that I have in my stash that I have made either in the last year or so. Most of these I did already showcase on different videos. Here are some from one of the more recent collections. I think it's like Hello Again collection by Doodlebug. And so you see here, they're a little dimensional with some puffy stickers. What I love is that these are just like little works of art. You can do them any which way you want. Here are some of the ones I did in July for Christmas in July. I did bring in some micron pens, the 3 and the 8, just to do my doodle lines. I'll be using those same pens for today's project. For our ATCs today, here are some ones that I did like in January, I believe. They were winter ones. I added pops of color, some snowflakes as well, some additional doodlebugs. So every month I had been making some in preparation for when I needed them. These are great little cards to put in either Happy Mail or just regular snail mail because they're flat. Or you could even put them in like orders. You know, if somebody purchases something from you, you could add them in there at a craft fair. You really have so many options with these. And so we thought it would be fun if anybody who's attending our event is able to make some, bring some, and then we can trade them with each other. And so I'll be doing several videos over the next 2 months before the event with making these. I just wanted to show you this Halloween set that I had made, and we're going to make some today as well. So you see here I have cut aparts and stickers and some of the doodle lines I drew on there, some iridescent stars. I used the puffy stickers, the regular stickers on all of these ATCs. These were so fun. I can link the original video where I showcased these down in the description box below. I believe it was a smash 6x6 paper pad smash video. I'll link that down below for you. And so in today's video, we are going to make some. I'm going to take a couple of these out so we can use as inspiration. And then we are going to make a full set of 10 using these supplies. Again, this Doodlebug collection as part of my hashtag crafty goals. I'm going to continue to make more to add to my set. So let's go ahead and make some ATCs. I am going to be doing Halloween themed for this one. I am going to do 5 sheets of 6x6 paper for my actual ATCs. I'm going to end up making 10 today. Now for our event, there's going to be 21 people total, including yourself if you're attending. So you'll want to make 20 ATCs when you come prepared. And so today I'm just going to show you how to make 10. So you see here we have some cut aparts in this paper pad, and some of them are not as great for cutting the actual ATC out of because of the way the back is sort of has that pattern paper. So what I tried to do was find patterns that were going to work for both the front and the back. So I have 5 sheets there because you can get 2 from the bottom section of a paper 6x6 paper, but you could also technically get a third one from the top. I am just choosing to just get the 2 from the bottom just because this is directional paper. So I'm going to show you how to cut this paper down to get 10 ATCs there. I'm also going to go ahead and cut up these little cut aparts. These little cut aparts, I think they're like 1.5 by 2 inches. These will fit perfectly onto the fronts of those little ATCs. The paper is just stunning. It's so cute. And then I also brought in this extra little sheet. It has some additional little bitty cut aparts you see there. It also has some sentiment strips in varying sizes, and all of these cut aparts will actually fit on this card, which is what I'm showing you there. So you've got some smaller cut aparts, and then some little sentiment strips, and the larger ones. The larger ones will not fit, but everything else on this sheet will. And so what I would typically do is cut these down, and that way I have them ready to go. I only cut up the cut aparts. I leave the sentiments whole, and then I cut them as I need them. So I'm going to cut one whole sheet off camera in just a second. I'm going to pull the additional ones that I need from my bag of scraps that I had left over after my smash. So I have already cut them all down. I have 10 little cut aparts. These are again 1.5 by 2 inches. I have those ready to go. I brought in some additional sentiments because some of the cut aparts did not have a sentiment, and I just like the idea of having a sentiment on these little cards. So I have my papers here. We're going to cut these down. And so what you're going to want to do is check to see if your paper has a directional sort of print on it. And if it does, turn that to the right. You want the top to be to the right. You're going to cut it at 3.5 inches from that bottom section. So 3.5, because that's the height of our ATC, 3.5 inches. So then you will be using this scrap in just a bit. I'm going to just put it to the side for now, but we're going to go ahead and take it on the 6-inch side and cut it at 2.5 twice, because I want to get 2 ATCs that are 2.5 by 3.5. So I'm going to cut a second one out of this additional scrap here, and that will leave me with this additional little rectangle scrap here, a longer strip scrap. I am going to use that to put on the front to decorate my cards, because you see here I did that on these other ones. I felt like it was very easy to use because it was already the right height. And so I'm also going to cut down some mini rectangles from the other scrap. You guessed it. We're going to cut that down into little segments, and we'll use that to kind of layer on top of our ATC cards. So we're cutting the bases of our ATCs first, then we'll basically end up with some additional scraps. So I'm going to take this one extra scrap and I'm going to cut it at 2 inches. These are 2.5 inches tall, but I'm going to just cut it at 2 inches so I get 3 of those scraps from that one additional piece that we did not use for the ATC. So right here I have 4 little items that I can put on top of my ATC, and I have 2 bases from just that one sheet of paper. So I'm going to go ahead and cut down another one and just repeat the same exact cuts that I did. Cut it at 3.5, get my scrap. Now, because this one is a very basic paper, I'm going to go ahead and cut the smaller little mats as well. But you'll see here, since you got 4 of the topper mats, you really don't have to cut all the same sheets of paper the exact same. For these remaining 3 sheets, because they're very, very busy and they're very directional, I'm only going to go ahead and cut my ATCs out of them. And then I should have enough without having to cut into those additional paper scraps for my top mats. I should have enough with what I've already cut. So I'm just cutting my ATC portions, the 2.5 by 3.5. So now I have 10 of the ATC sort of papers or cards. So I have 2.5 by 3.5. I have 10 of those. Then I have 6 because I cut from the first 2 sheets of the 1.5 by 2.5. And then I have 5 of the little strip mats that are 1 by 3.5. So that makes 10 cards, 11 toppers. So I really don't have to cut these additional papers. Now you could, again, cut 1 more ATC out of each of these little scraps. But because it's directional, you just cut it at 3.5 on that 6-inch side. But because it's directional, I really just don't like the look of it whenever the pattern is on its side. So I am just choosing to just put these back in my stash, and I will use these on whatever next project I do with this collection. So I have, again, my papers and then my toppers and then my cut aparts. And so what I'll do is I'm going to add some doodle lines next. This is just my general process. I have my Pigma Micron 8, which I'm going to use for the outline doodle because it's a much thicker one, sort of a thicker line. And then I have a Pigma Micron 3, and I'm going to use that to do my little dash marks on these little bitty square mats or rectangle mats that we have, the little smaller ones that we cut down from the scrap. And then I'm also going to add some little squiggly lines, almost like a little stitch, a faux stitching on the little rectangles as well, the little additional strips. So I'm going to do that off camera and then be right back for the next step. I have already done so. Here is a close-up of what this looks like. I have my ATC mats, I have my little scraps, my strips. I had 1 extra one because remember I had 6 and I had 5 and I only needed 4. And then I have my little rectangle. So I'm gonna put this extra one back in my stash. So now I have 10 total toppers. I have 6 of those little square rectangle things. And then I have 1 set of 4 strips. So I'm gonna lay out my cards here because I'm just gonna sort of layer and mass assemble these now. So I'm gonna lay them out, and then I'm gonna decide which of the little scrap mats that I have of these 10, I'm going to put on each of these different cards. So my sort of more plain card ATCs, I'm going to put the more busier patterns, and then my busier patterns, I'm going to put the plainer mats on top. You see that? I sort of just mix and match. So you see how these strips are much more busier. I'm going to use them for those top ones. So I've already laid all that out, just sort of mixing and matching. Now I'm going to go ahead and choose which cut aparts I want and sentiments I want on each of my cards, lay them all out, and then off camera, I will glue all of it together and come back for the next step. Okay, so I have already glued everything just as I mentioned. I laid everything out. I've glued it. It's flat. You could make it dimensional by adding some foam dimensional tape to pop up some of the different layers, but I went ahead and kept it flat. I like just having them flat. So the next step that I'll do is go ahead and take these puffy icon stickers and then the mini icon stickers, and I'm going to decorate my ATC cards and just sort of finish them off. Here is what I have left of the mini icon stickers, so not very much at all. My goal is going to be to go ahead and just finish this off now that I have these just a few left. So I will probably just keep those strips, but otherwise I'm going to try to use up all of those stickers. You could also put some jemmies if you'd like, but I'm just going to keep it to just these two things, and I'll have one additional thing that I'll use. I'll show you in just a bit. But here is what, just a little sort of, again, a sample of what it would look like. I did bring in iridescent stars on the last round that I did, but I'm not going to do that. I'll do something different. Okay, so I have already finished my ATCs, my artist trading cards, again, 2.5 by 3.5 inches. I'm using this sweet and spooky doodlebug collection. I did finish off as I was hoping, all of my little mini icon stickers, except for those little strips. I'll just save those. Those are basically like little washi strips that I can use. My mini icons are done. All three have been now smashed. I do still have a ton of the puffy icon stickers, but I did use a pretty good amount of them. Again, look at all those cute candies. Super, super cute. Okay, so I have already finished my 10 ATCs. So what I did was, of course, I had my 2.5 by 3.5 inch mat. I added the doodle lines, I added stickers, cut aparts, puppy stickers, and then I did add some glossy accents. You probably guessed it. I can't have a project without glossy accents. So I added some on just to give it some additional shine. So instead of using the iridescent stars, I added some glossy accents instead. So here I added my information to the backs of these. Again, the whole point of these is to showcase your artwork on the front, add your information to the back so you can hand them out, give them in anything that you're sending in Happy Mail. You can trade them when you have in-person events, which is what we'll be doing for this Bitty Paperie project coming up on December 2nd. If you have not seen that video, I will link it down below and at the end of this one so you can get all the information. There are still some tickets available, just a few, so it's running low, but I wanted to mention because today, September 30th, is the last day for early bird ticket special. So the price will change starting tomorrow on October 1st. So again, I'll link those links down below for you so you can check it out. Again, my hashtag Crafty Goals 2023 was to make ATCs every month. And again, the Bitty Paperie project, we're going to get together in person, hold some classes on December 2nd. I will link the ticket links down below for you so you can check it out. I hope you got some inspiration. I hope you're ready for this in-person event. Hope you make your ATCs and come and join us. Happy crafting.